it's not as big of a deal because, as we're seeing right now, you can take that mineral-only base behind your base. But usually, it's difficult to get out of your base as a Protoss if you don't have an army to kind of support to support your new expansion. So usually, what they do is just try and expand, try and move out an army, and usually the Zerg is going to go defend OK, so they're trying to take an expansion. But point being, if you lose that initial army, then I mean, you have to defend. And here comes actually some very quick mutas along with some Scourge. And there's a couple cannons in his main along with a few Corsairs. So I think Reach is going to be okay with this. But he is going to shut down this little Zealot attack. I think the Zealots are mostly just for distraction as the Dark Templar goes in here. He doesn't seem to have an Overlord in the area. Oh, Sunken Colony is not going after the Dark Templar. Dark Templar is chasing the drones out of that base though. It might have been better off attacking the Sunken Colony there. Some Scourge coming in, taking out one of the Corsairs, but just the cannons. Oh, the Overlord popped out. Oh, Dark Templar only gets 1 kill, so I think it got 2 or 3 kills total. Unfortunately, not enough damage to really be worth that Dark Templar's efforts. Should have stayed home today. Anyway, but he's defended this little quick muta thing very easily. He's got a couple cannons up. He's going to need to get something else, though, because it looks like Orion is actually persisting with these mutalisks. He's got a few Corsairs there. He's got a High Templar. I don't think it might not have an energy yet. He might not have Storm upgraded at this point either, but he still does have a couple Corsairs. So those Corsairs are just, combined with those cannons, are just going to be just enough to deal with this. But in the meantime, the mutas have distracted long enough to get, as you just saw, a bunch of drones, which are now going to be going to his various bases. He's going to have 4 full bases with decent drone saturation there. Just 3... Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say just 2 gateways. But there's 2 more warping in, so Reach is going to be able to start putting out some ground units here. But he needs to be careful. He needs like an Archon to run around and keep these mutalisks at bay or something. He's really going to have to be pushing it if it depends on Storm alone. Because he doesn't have a lot of Corsairs still. He's only got 1 left at home. The other one just went off to try and scout Orion's base. But he is now going to be able to put out Dragoons out of 4 bases. So there is that at least. And, oh, it looks like some storms going off. Nice storm, very nicely placed, beautifully placed. Actually, that last storm, it was very, very close. He could have easily stormed his own probes, but he placed it just perfectly, such that he was able to hit the mutas as they were flying over there, but didn't damage his own probes. So that was actually really, really slick. That was a really highly skilled storm there. And yeah, now he's able to put out a lot of Dragoons. From these gateways, and that's going to help him defend against these mutas really easily. So the mutas are pretty much shut down with some High Templar in the area. And I haven't seen... Usually the mutas are kind of a distraction and make them get Archons and make them get Dragoons while you go for Hydralisks. And then you come out with a bunch of Hydralisks and they're stuck without Storm. And you use the mutalisks to take out the High Templar, and then they don't have any Storm to deal with the Hydras. But in this case, that's all he has is the mutas still. He's got +1 weapons also, so if he does try and make a ground switch, it's going to be difficult. Wow, +1 air carapace actually. So Orion is really, really committed to this arrow build. Oh, nice Storm again, doing some decent damage to that clump of mutas there. You know, it's hard to catch those mutas. They're always on the move. It's hard to catch them and really get a good storm off. If they were just staying still, 1 storm would kill an entire group of mutas in 1 shot. So it's hard to catch them in that situation. But if you can get them at the right point, you can still do maybe 20 or 30 damage to all the mutas each, and that's a successful storm right there. Because then it'll soften them up so that your goons and your Archon and what have you can really take them out. A lot of Sunken Colonies all over the place here for Orion. Looks like he's just gonna try and hold up with these 4 bases. He doesn't seem to be thinking about expanding. I'm not sure exactly what his plan is. He might just be trying to mass up all these 4 bases. Like I said, he does have 3 gas, which is significant. Here we come in. Some mutas attacking this third base rather. The probes are gonna have to run away, but not before a ton of them get taken out. And unfortunately, Reach's army is out of his base, so he can't quite do any attacks there. But he is just going to go for a counterattack here. There are a lot of Sunken Colonies, though. I don't know if he knew those Sunkens were there until just getting there. He may just try and go and attack that third, but the third is just as sunken up as this one is. Maybe he's going to try and run back and defend his base. Orion persisting with all Mulisks here. And Reach is trying to get up that fourth base, but in the meantime, he's completely lost that third. At his mineral only, and now he's losing a lot of stuff in his main base here. If he doesn't do a successful counterattack here, he's going to be completely screwed. And oh no, oh man, Reach again falling back. He doesn't even have enough speed on his zealots. Losing, oh, a nice storm doing a lot of damage. Only losing a couple probes there and taking out a few mules at the same time. And now here comes the counterattack, but now his forces are sandwiched in to this fourth base. Although actually Orion doesn't have a lot of forces on the outside, so he may still be able to turn around and defeat this Hydralisk force coming in from behind. If he has a storm, if he can get a good storm off on those Hydralisks. No! Oh, nice! Storming the entire drone line, though. That was a nice storm. Another storm taking out a bunch of Hydralisks. So Reach holds. Reach's attack holds, and he's going to take out this fourth base of Orion's. He's going to take out Orion's base, and he's probably going to hold his army against this attacking Hydralisk. He may be able to escape this pocket here, but Orion just sending everything he has at that choke point, trying to box that army in, trying to keep it from getting back and meeting up with reinforcements or getting back to a cannon line or something like that. If he has another storm, now would be the time to use it. Reach. No, storm. I don't think he has it. There goes the storm. Nice storm right on the clump of Hydralisks. Orion a little bit slow on the storm dodge. Takes some decent damage, but he just has too many Hydralisks here. But really, for being trapped in that sort of a situation, that was a really, really good attack. I mean, that was really well done by Reach. He did a lot more damage than he could have, theoretically, you know. If that Templar had gotten sniped or you know, if he'd really gotten surrounded, then he could have lost his units without doing as much damage. And now he's bought himself by occupying all those forces in that fourth base of Orion's. He's managed to buy himself enough time to get his cannons back up in his main and his mineral only behind his base and get another army built up decently. So, I mean, it's still anyone's game here because he's still basically at two bases. He's just barely going to be getting his mineral only back up. Orion's getting that fourth back up, though. Reach was thinking about getting a fourth earlier, but I think he had to abandon that. I don't know if he had the money to support it, or I'm not sure what exactly happened with that. But, yeah, Orion trying to build up that fourth base. Now, he's going to be mined out of his main in just, like, 3 or 4 minutes or so. It looks like he has just a few hundred minerals left on those patches at his main. Reach is probably getting similar, though, in his main base. Probably even quicker. He's probably mined out even more, or even closer to mined out. Uh-oh, and here comes a lot of Hydralisks coming in here. Wow, Orion has been just building up a lot of Hydralisks, but Reach has a decent amount of forces as well. A ton of Overlords over there. Single Dark Templar looks like he's going to try and sneak in and attack that fourth base. But that's not going to happen. There's way too many Overlords and some Hydralisks as well. So yeah, Dark Templar is going to run away somewhere else. Wow. Sorry. I had to take a moment there. That Corsair was like, I'm gonna ram those Scourge. I'm gonna pretend I'm a Scourge and I'm gonna suicide ram those Scourge. And hey, it killed the Scourge, didn't it? Right? Oh man, that was funny. Those Overlords might have been there for a drop. We saw a bunch of Hydralisks coming down there. It might be a fake drop or something too. We'll find out in just a moment. And no, there's Hydralisks in there. They are going to easily... No! Jeez, nice storm. It's going to take... Well, actually, not as nice as it could have been. Not as nice as it could have been. Takes out only a few Hydralisks there. And that base is going to go down. Reach needs to accomplish this counterattack. If he doesn't manage to kill anything with this counterattack, he's going to be screwed. And I don't think he's going to be able to. There's just too many sunken colonies. Too much of a wall in the way there with the sunken colonies and the Hydralisks and what's it called, the evolution chamber in the way as well. His only hope is, yeah, he's going to try and just do a counterattack again and take out that fourth base again. But I mean, every time, if this just keeps happening where he keeps taking out Orion's fourth base and he loses his third, he is eventually going to mine out a little bit quicker than Orion, and that'll be that. Again, he's kind of trapped here in this situation. It looks like Orion is actually going to counter. This could be the deciding factor here if he counters and gets... No, never mind. He's not gonna counter. That one Dark Templar drove off the entire force of Hydralisks. Maybe he just wanted to try and put some pressure on. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure why he did that. Or maybe he realized there's too many defenses. Maybe he was just afraid of that single Dark Templar. We'll see. Anyway, but perhaps he also reconsidered, thinking that he was going to have to engage that army of Reaches first. Oh, wow, that was a lot of Hydra blood. Nice storms again.